Hello everyone, welcome to A1 Tutor live class. Okay, we are going to be having mathematics now. And today we are taking a new topic. Our last class we discussed polynomial, which we used 2 days to treat. We discussed subject of the formula under polynomial, and we also discussed multiplication, division, addition and subtraction of polynomial. We also discussed factorization of polynomial, and we also discussed remainder theorem under polynomial. So that was the last topic we treated. And today we are going to take a new topic, which is variation. Variation. So the topic we are treating today is variation. Okay, for the sake of some of us that were unable to join the class last week for polynomial, please kindly visit the YouTube channel, search for A1 Tutor, and take your time to watch the video on polynomial. All right. You can also do as well to visit the A1 Tutor app. You have the topic on the app also. So today we are going to be considering variation. Variation is the topic we are going to consider. And if you're online with me, I want to be sure that you can hear my voice properly. You can hear me clearly, and you can see the screen. You can see what I'm writing on the board. Please kindly signify or drop a message in the chat box. If you're online with me and you can hear me, please kindly signify with thumbs up or type yes in the chat box. Okay, thank you, Marvelous, for your response. Thank you for your response. So let's start today's class. Variation. When you hear the word variation, what does it mean in mathematics? Variation has to do with relationship. Okay, variation was extracted from the word varies, varies, and this also is synonymous to proportional, proportional. So when you hear this word variation or proportion or proportional, or you hear the word varies, what we are trying to depict is relationship. Okay, we are trying to depict relationship between quantities. Relationship between quantities. All right, so if I have two quantities, I can actually work on their relationship. That is, whether the relationship between quantity A and quantity B is a direct relationship or an indirect relationship or a joint relationship. All right, so if I have A to be a quantity, I have B to be a quantity. If I said A varies directly. A varies directly. So I'm saying that there's a direct relationship between quantity A and quantity B. All right. So if I said A varies inversely to B, A varies inversely to B, or A is inversely proportional. So I can use proportional, I can use varies. Okay, those two words are the same thing. They mean the same thing. So if A is inversely proportional to B, or A varies inversely to B, that means the relationship here is indirect. Indirect. And the relationship here is direct. All right. So which implies that in a direct relationship here, when A is increasing, B also will be increasing. When the value of A increases, the value of B also will be increasing. When the value of A is decreasing, the value of B also will be decreasing, because it is a direct relationship between quantity A and quantity B. All right. But in the case of indirect variation, or in the case of indirect proportion, when quantity A is increasing, quantity B will be decreasing. Are you getting that? When A is increasing, quantity B will be what? Decreasing. So one of the quantity will be increasing, the other one will be decreasing, and vice versa. So B can be increasing while A will be decreasing. Are you getting it? But in the case of direct variation, or in the case of direct proportion, both quantities increase and both quantity can decrease together also. Okay, but in indirect, one quantity increase, the other decrease, or one decrease, the other increase. So that is the distinct meaning of direct variation and indirect variation. I believe you are with me. If you are still with me, please signify. If you can hear me and you are following, please thumbs up. We are still trying to make justice to the concept. All right. So we have different type of variation. Permit me to clean the board. Okay. Permit me to clean the board so we can move on to the types of variation that we have and the ones we'll be focusing on today. So we have types of variation. We have types of what? Variation. We have types of variation. Number one, we have direct variation. Direct variation. Okay, we have number two, indirect variation. Indirect variation. And we have number three, we have joint variation. Joint variation. Okay, and also we have partial. We have partial variation. We have partial variation. Okay, so under joint variation, we can have direct and indirect. Okay, we can have indirect and indirect. We can also have direct and direct. So joint variation means where we have the combination of both the direct variation and the indirect variation. Okay, so they are subdivided into three. I can have the direct variation and indirect. I can have the indirect and indirect. I can have the direct and direct. So those three categories are under joint variation. They are under joint variation. And we have partial variation. Okay, for the sake of for the sake of the preparation for UTME, we are going to focus on direct variation, indirect variation, and joint variation. Because these are the three aspects that UTME focused on based on the topic variation. These are the three aspects they focus on. All right. Now I'm going to take it one after the other. I'm going to explain how the concept of each of the type of variation we want to treat are what are expressed. We want to see how they express in the mathematical way. Okay, so we're going to start with direct variation. Direct variation. Now I said that the symbol, this symbol means varies, okay? Or it also means proportional, okay? Proportional. So let's say A varies directly, okay? Or A is directly proportional to B. A is directly proportional to B, or A varies directly to B. If A varies directly to B, that means we have A equals to KB, where K is a constant. Where K is what? A constant. Where K is a constant. Now, if you notice, you will see that the variation sign is no more there. This has been changed to equals to. So once you change it to equals to, you need to introduce a constant. And the constant that is acceptable in this topic is letter K. K is the constant, okay? So after changing the varies or the variation sign to equals to, you need to introduce your constant. So we have A equals to KB. And take note that this is the relationship. Is the relationship between letter A and B. We call it relationship, comma, we call it the law, comma, we call it also the what? The equation connecting A and B. Okay, so it is called the relationship between A and B, or it is called the law connecting A and B, or it is called the equation connecting A and B. I believe we are together. If you are following me, please, thumbs up. All right. All right. All right. Thank you for your response, Enoch. So we are still on the direct variation, trying to explain the concept of the direct variation. So I said A varies directly to B is also the same as saying A is directly proportional to B. So what we do is that we need to take away the variation sign and replace it with equals to. So if A is equals to KB, that expression is called relationship. That expression is called the law. That expression is called the what? Equation. Okay, so let's assume I have x varies directly to y. Who can give me the what? The relationship of this expression? I need the response in the chat box. X varies directly to y. What will be the relationship of this expression? X varies directly to y. I need your response in the chat box. You can just type it in the chat box. X varies directly to y. What will be the relationship? X is equal to y. X is equal to ky. Thank you so much, Enoch, for your response. X is equals to ky. So that is the correct answer. Thank you so much for your response, Enoch. X equals to ky. X equals to ky. All right. So that is for direct variation. Now let's consider that of indirect variation. Okay, we have to understand those concepts first before we go into the what solving of what question. All right, so now we move on to direct variation. Direct variation. Okay, so I want to clean the board. Can I go ahead to clean the board? If yes, thumbs up, thumbs up. Okay, thank you for your response, Enoch. So we're going to clean the board. So we move on to the next. All right, now We are going for direct variation. Indirect variation. We've done direct. Now, indirect variation. Indirect variation. Okay, indirect variation, we have A again, varies inversely as B. A varies inversely as B. A varies inversely as B is the same thing as saying A is inversely proportional to B. Is inversely proportional to B. So what do we do? What do we do? We need to take away the variation sign. All right, take the variation sign. Then we have A is equals to K over B. A is equals to K over B. A is equals to K over B. So when I remove the variation sign, I replace it with equals to. And what you notice is that K was introduced. K was introduced in the word expression. And do not forget that your K is your what? Constant. Your K is your constant. Okay. So this expression also, it is called the relationship between A and B. It is called the law between A and B, or the law connecting A and B. It is also called the word equation. The equation connecting A and B. So take notes. Questions we say relationship. Question can say law, or they can make use of what? Equation. We are still saying the same thing. Okay. Relationship, law, equation is still the same thing. Okay. So this is what this is for indirect. For indirect variation, this is what we are going to have as our relationship. I believe that is clear. Can we move on to indirect? Can we move on to joint variation now? Okay, so we move on to the next one, which is the joint variation. And then after, we are moving on to application. We'll go to application after treating the joint variation. All right, please follow attentively. Permit me to clean the board as I take the next one. Joint variation now. We've taken indirect now. Joint variation. Joint variation. I said earlier that joint variation is categorized into three: direct and direct, indirect and indirect, or you have direct and indirect. So either of the three categories can be given to you in the exam. And once you understand the concept, you are going to solve it correctly. Okay. So let me go for this one. This one seems to be a bit technical. All right. Direct and indirect. A varies directly as B and inversely as C. A varies directly as B and inversely as C. So you can see the expression now that we have three variables, A, B, C, A, B, C. All right. So now we can actually merge these together to form a single relationship, And what we are going to do is to first use this B to multiply 1. Okay. And that will be A varies. 1 times B is B over C. 1 times B is B over C. Now on to the next step. A, taking away the variation sign, you have equals to. All right, you have equals to. Then what will happen? You need to introduce your constant, Mr. K. Mr. K have to show up. Okay, so you're going to have KB over C. KB over C. This expression here is the relationship. Okay, this expression is a relationship. What we did was that we multiply b and 1. B times 1 gave us b. We still have the what? Variation sign there. B over c. Now, after taking away the variation sign, I need to introduce the what? The constant, which is k. So A equals to KB over what? Over C. A equals to what? KB over C. I believe that is clear. This is relationship also for the joint relationship, law, or equation. Or what? Equation. So we have done justice to the concept of direct, indirect, and joint. Now let's consider some UTME questions on these three concepts. Let's consider some UTME question on these three concepts. If you are ready to go, if you are ready to solve this UTME question with me, please signify and let's get into the business. All right. So we go ahead to solve UTME questions now. Applications, application, application of variation. Okay, we are going to consider app 1. That's the first application. If x varies directly, has y cubed and x equals to 2 when y equals to 1, full stop, find x when y equals to 5. And this is UTME 2018. So I want you to first identify the question. Which type of variation is this question? Your response in the chat box. Which type of variation is this question we want to solve? Which type of variation is this question? If x varies directly. Thank you, Enoch. Awesome response. It is a direct variation. All right, let's go ahead to solve this question. Now we have x varies directly as y raised to power 3. X varies directly as y raised to power 3. The first thing you need to do is to get the relationship. Whether you are asked to find the relationship or not, it is a must to get the relationship. So this will give us x equals to k y raised to power what? 3. X equals to k y raised to power 3. So let's put something on it and we call it what? Relationship. Is that clear to us? Now let's proceed. We're given two information. X is equals to 2 and y equals to what? 1. So with that information, these two information, we are going to get the value of the constant. You know, k is a constant, but we want to know the value. What is actually the value of k? That's what we want to get. And we are going to use these two informations that were given to us in the question. When x equals to 2, y equals to 1, we want to get what? K. We want to get k. So you are going to say this is x equals to ky cubed. This x now is going to be 2 equals to k bracket. Y is what? 1. That is 1 raised to power 3. Okay. So we are going to have 2 equals to k into bracket. 1 raised to power 3 is 1 times 1 times 1, which is also what? 1. So we have 1 in the bracket. 2 equals to k times 1 is k. Therefore, k equals to what? 2. Therefore, k equals to what? 2. If you understand that, please signify. We have not yet solved the question. We just got the value of k. Okay? Thank you for your response, Enoch. Now that we've gotten the value of k, let's replace this place by the value of k. So now the relationship is x equals to 2y raised to power 3. These 2 represents the k. These 2 represent the k. Okay? So now this is what we're going to use to solve the question that they asked us. That find x when y equals to 5. X equals to question mark, but y equals to 5. So we can now solve to get what x is. Okay? By using x equals to 2y cubed, x I don't know, x equals to 2 bracket, y is what? Y is 5, 5 raised to power 3. That is x equals to 2 times 5 raised to power 3. 5 raised to power 3 is 5 times 5 times 5, which is 125. So we have 2 times 125. And when you multiply that, you have 250. So x equals to what? 250. X equals to 250. If that's clear to you, please thumbs up. We are moving on to the next application. Okay, thank you for your response, Enoch. All right, let's move to application 2. I believe ADME is clear to you, right? Can we proceed? Okay, you can take your time, screenshot it before I go ahead to wipe the board. Please screenshot. Can I wipe the board now? Enoch. All right, Sulia, can I wipe the board? Okay, so we'll move on to the next application. We have done a question on direct. Now we go to app 2. Okay, UTME question 2014. The question says P varies directly as Q and inversely has R. Full stop. What, or sorry, when Q equals to 36 and R equals to 16, comma, P equals to 27, full stop, find the relationship between P, Q, and R. Okay, which type of variation is this question? P varies directly as Q and inversely as R. Which type of variation is this? Joint. Thank you so much, Enoch, for that great response. It is a joint variation. So now we are working on joint variation. Joint variation. Now let's interpret our question. P varies directly as Q and inversely. When you hear the word inverse, 1 over should always come to your mind. 1 over the quantity should always come to your mind. So inversely is 1 over R. 1 over R. And this will give us P. Multiplying this Q with 1, we have varies as Q over R. Q over R. Introducing the constant, we have P equals to KQ over R. P equals to KQ over R. So let's identify this as the relationship, but we are not yet done until we get the what? The value of K. Okay? Your relationship is not yet complete until you obtain the value of K. So it's very important that you obtain the value of K and rewrite your relationship. Okay? By then, it will have captured the value of K. So how do we get K? They've given us some value that Q is 36 and R is 16 and our P is 27. All right, it's 27. To get the value of K, we have P equals to KQ over R. Okay, and if this is going to be over 1, let's substitute the value. P is 27, that means I have 27 over 1 equals to K in brackets. Q is 36, so I have 36. I'll close the bracket over R. R here is what? 16 over 16. So by cross multiplication, I'm going to have 36K equals to 27 times 16. 27 times 16. I proceed ahead to divide both sides by 36 because 36 is the what? The coefficient of 36 is the coefficient of K. So K will now be equals to 27 times 16 all over 36. All over 36. And we can do some division here just to make it more simplified. Okay, if I have to divide this, of course, it's something I can divide. 27 times 16. If I multiply it, I'm going to have a very big number. So it's better that we actually, oh, thank you, Enoch. K equals to 12. Yes, that is correct. Okay, that's correct. When you compute this, you're going to get K equals to 12. If you multiply 27 times 16, 27 times 16, you're going to have 432 divided by 36. And this will give you that K equals to what? 12. The value of K will be equals to what? 12. Now, once you have gotten the value of K, you come back to your relationship. You come back to the relationship and change this K to what? 12. Once you change the K to 12, now you've gotten the final answer. So to do that, I'm going to write it here inside this box that P equals to 12Q over R. And that is the relationship. That is the relationship between P, Q, and R. All right, is that clear to us? Kindly signify if it's clear to you. We are moving on to the next application. Now we move to application 3. Can I clean the board? Can I wipe the board? Can I wipe the board? I'm waiting for your response. Am I free to wipe the board? Okay, thank you for your response. So we'll move on to the next application. Application 3. Our UTME question 2012. U is inversely proportional. U is inversely proportional to the cube of v, and u equals to 81 when v equals to 2. Find u when v equals to 3. So which type of variation is this? Indirect variation. Thank you so much for your response, Enoch. So this is indirect variation. Once you can identify the question, you'll be able to solve it accurately. So indirect variation now, we have u is inversely proportional, that is 1 over. Now take note, they said the cube of v. The cube of v, that is v raised to power what? 3. V raised to power 3, that's the cube of v. V raised to power 3. Okay? U will now be equals to k over v raised to power 3, and this happens to be the relationship. This happens to be the relationship. Now we need to get the value of k. We need to get the value of k. So if u is 81 and v is 2, let's get the value of k. So we have 81 equals to k over 2 raised to power 3, and that is 81 equals to k over 81 over, when you express 2 raised to power 3, that's 2 times 2 times 2. That's going to give us 8. We have k equals to, if this is 1, by cross multiplication, I'm going to have k times 1 equals to 81 times 8. 81 times 8. So I need to simplify that by multiplication. And if I multiply that, I'm going to get 648, 648, 648 will be the answer, which means k is equals to 648. 648. If that's clear to us, please signify. 648. Do you know the way we get this? Our k is 648. Okay, thank you, Enoch. Now we have to rewrite the relationship. U is now equals to 648 over v raised to power 3. Now we need to find x is question mark when v is equals to 3. We need to find what? X. Sorry, we need to find u, not x now. I mean, we need to find u. We need to find u when v equals to 3. So we have to substitute those values in the expression given to us here. U will now be equals to, u will be equals to 648 over, our v is 3, that would 3 raised to power 3, and that is u equals to 648 over 3 raised to power 3 is 27, and you have to divide 648 by 27, 648 by 27, and that will give us 24. That will give us 24. So I believe that is clear to us. Our u equals to 24. Our u equals to 24. Is that clear to us? U equals to 24. Can we proceed? All right, so now we are going to take evaluation. Two questions that we are going to be solving together. All right, we are going to take it together. We have been able to touch question on direct variation, question on indirect variation, and question on joint variation. So let's observe evaluation, where we'll both be working together. Am I permitted to wipe the board? All right, thank you for your response. So we have evaluation. The first question on that. We have is a UTME question also, 2000. A varies B over C square and A equals to 20, B equals to 5, and C equals to 1 over 3. Find the relationship. Find the relationship between A, B, C. Find the relationship between A, B, and C. One over 3, 1 over 3, 1 over 3. So first, let's identify which type of variation is this. Which type of variation is this? Okay, indirect variation, yes, that is correct. But take note that it is having three variables, A, B, C. So when you have three variables, you should know that it is joint variation. Okay, joint variation, because it has been combined together. This is the original expression. A varies B varies 1 over C squared. Okay, it's because we have the question has combined it together. That is why we are having it as a single expression. Okay, so it is a joint variation. It is a joint variation. So can we go ahead to get the relationship solution? A varies B over C squared. That's going to give us A equals to K over C squared. So this is the relationship. Now I want you to help me get the value of K from your own end. Get the value of K for me. Get the value of K. I want you to help me get the value of K. You already have 20 to be A, B is 5, and C is 1 over 3. So we have to get the value of K. You need to substitute those expressions in it. You have A equals to KB over C squared. So that means A is 20, K bracket B is 5, and this is 1 over 3 all squared. So this is what we are going to simplify. And let me have the final answer. Simplify this and give me the final answer. I'm waiting for your response. Are we solving? I'm waiting for your value of k. What will be the value of k? Once we get in the value of k, we are good to go because we are just asked to find the relationship. And the aim is to get the value of k. What is the value of k? Okay, so this will be 20 equals to 5k over 1 over 9, which is the same thing as 20 times 1 over 9. That's by cross multiplication equals to 5k. All right, so when you simplify this, we are going to have 20 over 9 equals to 5k. 20 over 9 equals to 5k. And if you divide both sides by 5, you are going to have your response. If I proceed to do that, I'll be having this expression. I'll be having 20 over 9 divided by 5 is equals to k. And that is 20 over 9 multiplied by 1 over 5 is equals to k, which is 20 over 45 equals to k. Now we need to reduce 20 over 45 to the lowest term, and that is going to be 5 here, we're going to have 4, and 5 here, we're going to have 9. So which implies that k is equals to 4 over 9. 4 over 9. So you need to change this k to 4 over 9. Then you have the relationship settled. Okay, relationship would be a equals to 4 over 9b, 4 over 9b over c squared. 4 over 9, 4 over 9b over c squared. So this is the relationship between A, B, C. Relationship. This is the what? Relationship between A, B, C. Is that clear to us? Is that clear to us? Is the evaluation question clear to us? All right, so a very quick one. I need your response. Today, we have discussed variation, right? I said variation has to do with what? I said variation has to do with what? Variation has to do with what? Relationship. We talked about what? Relationship. That variation has to do with relationship. Relationship, okay? And what are the 3 types of variation? Can you mention them? The 4 types of variation I mentioned. I need your response in the chat box. The types of variation. The types of variation that we discussed. What are the types of variation that we discussed today? Direct, indirect, and joint variation. Okay, thank you for your response. And what do we say K is? Letter K is what? Letter K is what? We said that letter K is what in today's class? Is the constant. Letter K is the constant. Okay, so thank you for your time. Thank you for your time. We need to practice more questions on variations, and we can do that effectively by visiting the A1 Tutor app. Visit the A1 Tutor app, all right, and practice more questions. And for your friends that are not around, they can as well watch the video on YouTube. Stay online. We are going to have physics in a few minutes' time. Physics class is going to commence. So stay online and also invite your friends to join the class. All right. See you in few minutes time again.